Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I know it's people from multiple regions. Directly, without wasting time, I'll start to share my screen. Hope my screen is visible to everyone, right? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Very glad. Always, it's very glad to be in this IAS platform. That is always great. And this year, I'm actually stepping back and going to discuss about what is a perspective on the digital and analytics in agriculture. Which is very, very important topic, evolving topic today. I thought I should spend a little time on this. My plan is to kind of talk about three different subtopics. Everyone is out of COVID or during COVID or actually in the midst of COVID. So what are the different risks in the agricultural supply chain revealed by COVID? So let us understand that and how companies are dealing with it with the impact of digital and analytics and what actions are required to increase the resilience in the overall agriculture supply chain. So that's my focus today of discussion. Let me go to the first topic directly, right? The COVID-19 led to the very, very heightened vulnerabilities as well, huge shift in the global agriculture supply chains. What are these? Those actually are huge stoppages and a lot of cancellations, especially from the agricultural OE point of view. And there are a lot of leaders today, they want to increase the flexibility and resilience in the overall agricultural supply chain. So this actually has shifted the complete agricultural supply chain, end to end. So that's the impact of COVID. And stepping back, if you have to understand these shocks like a COVID, right? They are very more frequent. Okay, it is not that it has just happened only in COVID, right? They are more frequent, more severe, as well more costly. How more frequent? If you just step back and look at the history, right? This particular kind of a shock almost there for a 1 month, almost there for a 1 month. It occurs every 3.7 years. So that's the kind of a history we have seen. And these shocks bring almost like a 45 to 50% of loss in the EBITDA during this decade of disruptions, right? For a 1 decade, this is a loss people actually have seen in the past. So it's a huge, in terms of the impact, it is a huge, right? So given all this, if you step back and understand what are the different shocks, especially the supply chain shocks, they are actually very, very tough to predict, right? If you look at from the context of the ability to anticipate and the x-axis and the magnitude of shock, in terms of the impact. If you look at this, there are huge shock, right? Which is there are surprise disruptions, surprise catastrophes, and there are huge global crises, right? And the expected frequency of disruption is basically, imagine like, certain disruption lasts for 1 or 2 weeks, which occurs every 2 years. Some actually even post 2 months as well, right? That occur every 5-6 years. That way, I think this kind of a shocks are occurring, and many companies are stepping back and thinking about their business continuity plan in effective way. So that's a kind of an element. So McKinsey survey, what it does, what it actually says, right? When we did the interview with a lot of executives, right? So what we observed, right? Building resilience is one of the important priority for many people. Okay, and 93% of the supply chain leaders, they said, we need to increase the flexibility in the overall agricultural supply chain. And almost 40 to 45% of the people said increasing resilience will definitely have a short-term efficiency. You need to have a short-term loss. That's fine. But I think you need to kind of have the flexibility for a longer term, right? What are the things which is evolving in this kind of a pandemic situations? How we build the resilience? If you ask this question, a lot of agricultural company have done a dual sourcing. They look at a segmented way of stocking the inventory, not for every product, more inventory only for a critical products, nearshoring of supplier, and sometimes it's a regionalization of the entire supply chain, having a higher safety stock. So these are some of the the action items or initiatives which is evolved, especially in this pandemic. Okay, so that's a shift which has happened. And if you actually step back and understand how this regionalization has happened, right? So that actually has gone in a big way. There are intra-regional goods trade, be it chemical, agriculture. There is like a 57%. Food and beverage and also coming under agriculture, which is almost 56%. So there is an intra-regional goods trade which has actually increased a lot because of this COVID. Okay, so this is a very interesting trend. So in the pre-COVID, a lot of agriculture company, they started regionalizing to get a quicker access to demand. They actually look at how do we rethink the supply network, and the risk and resilience planning in supply chain was gaining attraction. So the COVID accelerated some of the trends. Okay, some countries are actually reassessing their dependence on the flows, especially the global flows, and some companies are accelerating the investment in digitization. Okay, that's where the digitization in agriculture is very evident. And how do we increase the flexibility to become the top in the top, right? So that is also very important. So I'll probably take another 4 minutes, with that I'll close with. So right, so I'm just going to cover the next topic, which is a very important topic in the next few minutes, right? So we did a survey across the B2B sector, the digital engagement, which is who are all doing digital engagement. If you look at this survey, for a period before COVID, which method was important to consumer, right? The customers. Traditional sales that actually gain more traction before COVID, right? The digital enabled sales transaction in agriculture is only 48%. But after COVID, what you have seen, it has increased to a greater extent. It's a 2x, right? Almost like 68% of respondents indicating that digitalization, digital enabled sales interactions in agriculture actually has increased a lot. So that shows digital and digitization is very evident and important in agriculture. Stepping back, a lot of challenges, I agree, a lot of challenges. It's not easy, not an easy cakewalk. Lack of business case, lack of impact, there are inability to integrate. So all this are actually there as a complications, and a lot of technology challenges, right? So about data ownership, who will own the data? How do we kind of integrate the data along with the right technology systems, data privacy? These are always some of the challenges. But if you look at from the overall industry sector point of view, agriculture and chemical is actually like it's in a nascent stage. A lot of companies are catching up. It's in a nascent stage, but still it actually in a growing setup. So that way, winner takes all the dynamic wins. But I think mostly offline industries are actually struggling. Agriculture is catching it up. Okay. In another 2 minutes, how the companies are dealing with it. Okay. How they are dealing with it. If you look at many companies have implemented a lot of digital solutions in agricultural setup. Micro market modeling. That is one of the area where people look at micro level. Predictive maintenance in agriculture. Climate prediction analysis through advanced analytics. Prescriptive farming. That's where I think the AI plays a vital role, right? And individualized livestock management. That is a very, very micro level of thinking, right? And how do we forecast the price and optimize the source? Gene edition and cloud biology through a digital elements. And how do we think through from a cloud-based farm management? That is actually also very important, right? And from a IoT point of view, the Internet of Things point of view, the real-time imagery via satellites and drones. These are some of the areas which is actually evolving. In the last 1 minute, probably I'm closing my discussion, right? So lot of companies actually evolved, right? There are input players, there are machineries and OEMs, there are advanced hardware and implements, there are input distribution player in the agriculture sector, there are growers and producers who are actually leveraging digital to the maximum extent. There are trade processes. Apart from this, there are startups which is evolving a lot, and you see a lot of company logos here who actually embark the journey in a digital and digitalization agriculture. So that is true, right? In the last step back, in the last 18 months, these companies are actually embarked the journey to the greater extent. And there are a lot of tech majors, the technology majors, right? Like the Google, SAP, and IBM. They are also involving and improving the digitalization in an effective way. Okay, so I'm closing my discussion with this. So what is the overall focus? The focus is try to bring the digitalization from the operations point of view, new farming practices and agronomy point of view, and also commercial element point of view, right? What do you need? You need a proper talent. That is very important. You need an agile delivery, especially in this kind of era. And that's where the data analytics and technology will improve, will help you a lot. So step back, leverage digital to the maximum extent. With this, I close my thoughts. Digitalization, digital and analytics, along with the AI, is empowering agriculture to the next level. All the very best to everyone, and it's a fantastic platform for all of us to learn and understand this and start the journey. Thank you very much.